Good morning, guys. Hey, welcome back, my friends. Hey, thank you for watching. Thank you for tuning in. But here we are, Aspire to Be Hospitality Group and our team. I'm Chris Olexa, CEO and founder of Aspire to Be. And I got my girl over here.
Yeah, Kimberly Olexa, CFO of Aspire to Be Hospitality Group.
And over here to my right,
Justin Smith, COO, Aspire to Be.
Hey, thank you again. And please go subscribe. Had a great last week. Justin, I know we got to pick somebody out. Somebody $100 gift cards that will be going out today. You'll be notified today. We'll get our team today. Thank you. We had a lot of comments. There was a little problem with YouTube. Couldn't put American flag on there.
Yeah, can't do an American flag on YouTube, but we got that all figured out. Thank you so much for everybody commenting and getting engaged and having fun with it. And we'll be cutting that gift card out today.
That was weird.
Someone lucky.
Yeah,
Go USA.
Yeah, really.
USA.
USA.
There was a ton of support for USA. But,
Of course.
Speaking of that, women's World Cup's coming up too.
Yeah.
So, but
go ladies.
Yeah, go ladies.
Let's
I hear
go.
they have a good team this year.
All
but
ladies.
Please keep the politics out of it. Let me just watch some great soccer ball and have some fun watching this. And it's terrible for business, so especially our sports bar because it happens at 9 in the morning. But hey,
Yeah, it's a good watch though.
Again, guys, I had a great week this week. It's been really full of crazy stuff. I was at a banquet last night, matter of fact, kind of stayed out a little late because it was a big banquet that we had raising money. But I got stopped by multiple people and just random people in the crowd. Just want to send a shout out to you if you're watching this because it makes me feel good that you're watching this. And a couple of small business owners just saying, man, just love your podcast and how real you guys are. And I know you kind of dumb it down a little bit for some, but what they're learning from is really cool and how we live our lives. So it was really cool and inspirational to me because it kind of pumps me up to come in here this morning and do this.
Yeah, absolutely.
And a shout out to Kim. I'm at graduation weekend for these kids.
Yes, yeah. I got to hand out a couple of diplomas last night to a couple of our graduating seniors, and I just wish them the best of luck as they start their venture in this thing we call life, and pray that God protects them and provides a hedge of protection over them, and good luck, seniors.
Yeah, it's really
all
cool.
seniors.
It was cool. I remember that day walking across that stage, probably 2 years late than I should have. And
2 years.
Yeah, I didn't have any ropes on my neck or
None.
I just showed up. But when walking across the stage, I didn't know what I was going to do. I just knew I was going to do something cool.
I did too.
So I'm sure watching those kids and seeing the pictures, all the parents posting and seeing everybody, those kids have the same dreams right now. Go enjoy your weekend, have fun, be safe, but realize the real work starts. If you're going to college, go do it. Spend the time, read the books, learn what you need to learn. If you're not, go to work, save your money. Got to have money to make money, but go do your thing. Have a good time at it, too. And, Justin, during that graduation, we were able to partner with some CTE programs.
Yeah, like speaking of scholarships, so we'd run like a March Madness interview day, pour back into our local high school and any schools around any of our businesses, and we gave $1,000 worth of scholarship to 3 winners, and I think Kylie took home $500. We went over there, took a picture, just poured into the CTE program, which is just like way in alignment with our industry. And some of those kids even work for us, which is awesome. So it's a great farm system if you're looking for employees to get involved with your high school. But we gave some scholarships, which felt great.
Yeah, it was cool because those CTE programs are something that we partner with because those kids are going to, different divisions and maybe not going straight to college, maybe doing something else, maybe going right straight into business, and especially the hospitality business.
Yeah, we need electricians. We need woodworkers.
Yes.
We need plumbers.
We need plumbers.
Yeah.
Those are all important jobs. So it's a wonderful program, and we're pouring into it.
Speaking of that, we plumbers, start your own plumbing business. Because, we're calling plumbers all the time, lecturers. Hey, I'm too busy to take care. Great adventure to get into. So, hey, but it was a good time for that. But this topic today is something that's kind of fun. And this got me thinking, and we challenged each other because we had a business meeting the other day. And we're going through our P&Ls. And somebody stopped and said, can you stop and change the percentage to dollars? Yeah. And it was like, wait a minute, got us thinking, right? It's like, because these are guys in our field. And then I'd made this story one time when I went in the store and they were like, hey, we're saving our waste, trying to figure out our waste. And they were just throwing, overcooked wings away or wings that they cooked too many or made a bad burger. And I'm like, okay, they just threw it away and didn't understand that.
It's all dollars.
I was like, hey, that's dollars. So I was like, hey, that's $1.50 you just threw in the trash because somebody pushed a button too quickly or didn't read the ticket right and make the wrong food. And they just think, oh, it's just waste. No, it's $1.50 you just threw away. So I got this challenge for us. So we're going to work with real money today.
All right.
So,
There we go.
Yeah, so I went and got $100, and we're going to start a business. You know,
do it.
and let's play with this and walk through the categories that it takes to run a business. And let's see, because everybody comes to me and is like, man, you own all these restaurants and stuff, but you're making a killing. And it's like, man, we deal with dollars, like very small pennies sometimes. And so it's just because you think a business might make, have a lot of people walking through the door that day, that all that just flows to our pocket. But we got to pay a lot of bills with that. So how I learned a lot too, like I said, well, I had a problem with college because there was no pictures in the books. And when I do, stuff like this kind of adds to it.
It
right?
puts in perspective, how much we actually make and how, in control of all of these dollars we actually are, in our silos. So yeah, this is a picture book exercise for sure, but like this matters to everybody.
It does.
This makes sense to me too. And I am a book, a bookworm. So
this is going to be fun. So we're going to start out this day, just like me as a CEO. I'm a dreamer, right? And I'm just running fast. And you two guys are always like pulling me back and steering ways. So I come like, hey, we got a good business. Let's do this. Like, for example, Buffalo Wild Wings Go, when we first got the opportunity, let's do this. And you're like, hold, let's build a budget.
Yeah.
Let's walk it back and let's start there. So that's what we're going to do today. So I got $100. And I want to keep as much of this in my pocket as possible, to grow more. Yeah. So let's start this way. So we're going to open this business, and we're going to start it out, okay, with $100. So here we are. I'm taking this off here.
I need some of that money.
Yep. So, well, Justin, I'm going to kick it right to you at first. So we're going to start off with our COGS, right, and our operational expenses. So let's walk through there.
Okay. So I'm in charge, or, typically operations is going to be in the controllable expenses space. So our cost of sales, or your items in your restaurant, your retail, your paper, all of your goods. And for our industry, that's anywhere from, call it 28 to 32%. I'm going to take $31 from you just because there's been a little bit of inflation. We're dealing with increase in costs. But right now, right here in this current environment, I want $31.
Yeah.
Right off the bat, just for my goods.
It's his.
It's mine. This is what I'm in control of here.
I separate them in 10.
There we go. Breaking off a single.
$31. That's a lot. That's already a hit right there.
There we go.
I feel like this is a Price is Right game or something.
We've got our goods, right? So operations is in charge of, kind of doing the purchases. And then we also need people to run the business. So we need our salaried people or hourly people. All those people get benefits. We have unemployment claims. We have taxes to pay. So I'm going to take $23 from you on that one. That one ranges. If you're hitting your sales forecast, it's around 23. It could go up or down a couple bucks based on, certain variables. But I'm taking $23 from you on that one. And already I have half the business.
Yeah, there's your $3 too. Oh, there's your other $3. Yep.
Don't leave any on the table, Justin.
Yeah, because I might take it back. Yeah.
$54 already operations, your controllable costs of the business. And in the business world, this is kind of known as your gross profit.
Yeah.
That's right.
This is your gross profit of your business. This is after your controllable expenses. This is what your operations team is typically in charge of.
So when we started the business, when you came up with the cost of goods and the labor model, let's say for a new person, where did you get those numbers at? Like, how did you get those numbers for somebody just starting in this business?
I think a lot of that will come if you're in the franchise business from your franchisor or peers.
Yeah.
I think there's a lot of industry norms and standards out there. For COGS, a lot of that's based on your sales mix and what you're actually purchasing things for, and are they high versus low cost items. So I think the research really is just how much am I purchasing this for, and then how much am I selling it for, and what's the difference of the two. So you just have to have a really good grasp. If you're selling $400 bats and you're buying them for $200, you're making $200. That's a 50% cost of sale. Yeah. In good business, you don't want to be at 50%. You want to be in the 20s and the 30s because you've got so much else to worry about.
Yeah.
So that's cool that you can go get the advice from in the franchise business or whoever. If you're starting a different business, go hit with your peers and see what it's costing them to do the business as. So that's cool. So all right. So am I finished with you, man?
I'm gonna stop right here at $54.
Well, okay.
Yeah.
You're not leaving.
He's over
much.
there counting his money out.
I am.
Are you making sure that he gave you $54?
Yeah, because sometimes I try to hide it in the.
Hey,
budget.
we always got to count it, right? That's where we can roll right into accounting. We got to hold ourselves accountable.
I appreciate you, ops. Count every dollar.
Yeah.
You know she's gonna count it because every time I get a credit card receipt. I don't turn a credit card receipt in for something I bought in the company. I get in trouble for it. So
absolutely.
All right. So now I'm kicking it to you.
Yeah.
Who are you now? What are you going to take from me?
Yeah. So I'm the financial side of the business, and I'm taking money
Yeah.
from you to run the location expenses, the marketing, and just our general expenses that it costs to run our business.
Okay. So let's
So-
start this out.
We're going to start with marketing.
Oh.
Give me $4 for marketing. And that's going to be, we're a franchisee, so we have a marketing expense that's allocated, and then we do our local store marketing,
$4
and
for
then
you.
we also do some printing and whatever, and that goes in that bucket. So
Big
all
piece
that,
of business, not free.
yeah,
Yeah.
all that will cover that.
Yeah.
And then so go ahead and give me $12 for our location expenses.
$12.
Absolutely, 12 buckaroonies.
What's that for?
And that's for your rent.
What?
That's for your utilities. You have to turn on the lights, dude. You have to run your
How
gas.
we powering this thing?
Yeah.
I thought we negotiated a good rent on this one. $12.
Your repairs and maintenance of all your equipment that you have going on.
Yeah. See, that's why I tell our guys to, can we fix some of this stuff here? Call me. I'll help fix that thing. $12?
$12.
I don't have much, really. Man, okay. Wow. $12. That's expensive.
And then we move on to our what we call our general expenses. And that,
More?
Yeah, dude, more. That's going to take about $11.
I'm about to rebuttal on this thing really quickly.
You sure you want to open this business?
Really? $11?
$11.
Okay. I'm still hanging in there.
Hanging in
I
there.
got
All right? We
19
still profitable.
Yeah, I think if I counted this right, I got $19. Okay, good. All right.
So, and your general expenses, what
what
that's
is
going to
this?
cover is your royalties, because we pay a royalty fee because we're franchisees. That's going to pay your subscriptions, your professional fees to run your financial statements, your accounting services, your any subscriptions that we may have, your delivery expense. Third-party delivery is a big deal. So your
Like
delivery
DirecTV,
expenses.
like all our DirecTV subscriptions.
Well, that was in your location, so
Okay.
that is going to be your utilities.
Yeah.
But yeah, so general is going to take a big $12,
Man.
$11 from you.
Okay, so the royalty fee, that comes out of there too. And-
That's in your general, yes.
yeah, and one thing to maybe pay attention to, some franchisees or franchisors charge more and some charge less. Pay attention to that because that's a big number. I've seen some as 3.5, and I've seen some as high as 8. So be very careful of that.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So okay,
So is this what we made or no?
So how much did we make?
What do we got there?
I got
My stack's way higher than
I got $19. I think I have $19. That's pretty good.
We started with 100 and
Yeah.
now we're down to 19.
So I'm pretty excited with this 19. So this is what I get to put in my pocket, right?
No,
Don't think so.
not yet.
Wait a minute. What else do we got?
Yeah,
We got more?
we have more.
Well, I'm grabbing $5 from you for how do we get paid? How do our business
Yes,
leaders get
yes,
paid?
yes,
How do
yes,
our
yes.
business coaches get paid? How does the company operate? Our marketing, our HR, our accounting department, how do they all get paid? $5.
Do we have to pay them that much? Does it really cost that much?
I think
There's management fees for your company of your overhead.
Yeah.
and that varies anywhere from 3 to 7%, depending on how lean you are. We're going to roll with 5.
Okay. I think we're kind of lean. Okay. All right. So, okay. $14. Or no, how much are $14? So that's 14%. $14. Okay. So I'm still hanging in there. So I'm still happy. I think I'm making banks happy at 14%.
You're making banks happy at 14%.
Yeah. So are we done? Can we celebrate?
No.
I hate when you make those noises. It's like,
Was this business free?
yeah. I
Yeah.
mean,
Or
is
did we
this-
take out a loan for this thing?
Yeah. So now we have to pay down our loan,
Yeah.
or either pay down our loan or pay off our loan, whichever one we can do at the time. But with $14, we can maybe pay down
Yeah.
our debt
Okay.
on the company. So why don't you give me 3?
3.
Okay, so that's our.
So that's now. So that's paying our debt. So that's
That-
the money we borrowed from the bank
Yeah.
to pay for it.
$11, buddy.
Well,
$11.
I'm kind of smart in this too, not to go anywhere because a couple of years ago, debt was a lot easier. I'm gonna give you another $1 because man, interest rates have gone crazy, right?
Yeah. Well, thank you for giving it to me. I thought we were going to negotiate that
Well, I
so
thought,
that you can
yeah,
gain
I thought,
more.
well, man, it just seems like right now. I mean, you came to me and say, "Hey, we had this next line of growth planned out for our next couple of stores, but now as you're visiting with banks, you're finding out our interest rate pretty much doubled."
Oh, it has doubled
in the
Absolutely.
last 6 months. So that you're going to see a lot of growth. People, slowing down a little bit because you went from a 4% interest rate to an 8% right now. It's crazy.
Yes, we
really.
did.
So, man, crazy. All right, well, $10.
$10. So that's it.
Well, so that's where you start getting to this point of risk reward, right? I mean, is it worth the risk? Because if you made some bad judgment calls or made some bad days and bad food cost deals and whatever, you lose more of this money. But there's a way that I love our team because what we do, and you guys are the best at it. I mean, y'all are the best. We sit and now we look at this, we look at the $10 and we think, how can I get more? How can I bring more back to the middle? How can I give more back to Chris, to the profit side? So I'm going to challenge us. How can we do that? Justin, can you find me any more money?
I can, and that's where we try to go from good to great, or just kind of play in our silos and do our job. So when it comes to cost of sales, I said 28 to 32. How do you run the 28? How are you best in class in that operation? So for me, I would rally the team around making sure that we have great spec, right? We're making things exactly as they should be made. Then I'm also going to be taking a look at my waste, and we call that AVT, or actual versus theoretical, right? What our theoretical cost should be as close to our actual cost as possible, so we get rid of that waste. And then finally, I'm going to take a look line by line, especially if I'm at 31, that every single thing in our business is priced right. Yeah. I think between those three things, if you really wrap your arms around them and pay special attention to them line by line, and you try as hard as you can, not to impact the guest. It doesn't impact the guest to make something to spec.
Yeah.
It doesn't impact the guest to say, hey, can we try not to, can we be a little more careful and strategic when we're making these things so we're not dropping things on the floor? And it definitely doesn't impact the guest if we're underpriced against the market, and we need to take a little price because that's just the cost of doing business, and we do that in a fair way. So I think when it comes to COGS, I can throw you $2 back.
Okay.
If I try real hard. So there you go.
I'll take that. And when you say that, you got to pay attention to that. Now we talk about this because we do like drive-bys and our test services. We'll go up to our Arby's, to our Buffalo's. I'll use Arby's for example. And if I walk in the door, they know who I am. Yeah. But if I do the drive-through, they don't. Right. And then I get my bag, and when they hand me my bag, they look at me and say, "Hey, Mr. Chris."
Man.
Oh man. But then I look in my bag and I got 42 packs of Arby's sauce.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
or
the waste
52
part.
napkins.
Yeah. Or you don't have 12 thinly sliced pieces of roast beef in the sandwich. I mean, all of it you're taking a look at, and that's your opportunity.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why you get $2 back. If you're operating at a high level, you're paying attention to those things.
Yeah.
So there's a fine line when somebody comes to the drive-thru and says, "Hey, can I have Arby's sauce or horseshoe sauce?" Yeah. Would you like? Is 3 packages enough? Yeah, that's perfect. Don't just go grab a handful. Right. So that's cool. So now I got anything else you?
I think I can also probably give you $1 back on labor because I think we can continue to teach our team on making really good forecasts, making schedules to our targets based on those forecasts, and then we have, our company is blessed to have tools that we can come back and say, this is what we scheduled, this is what we actually did, and we can start tweaking those in and out times, and we can start tweaking our forecasts to become better business people at making sure we know what we're going to do next week and making a great schedule towards that. So if you have the tools to do that, I think, you can probably throw another $1 back because you're reducing waste in your schedule without impacting the guest, right? Yeah. Do I need 4 people opening instead of 5 because we don't open till 11 and they're all coming in at 9?
Yeah.
Here's a buck.
That's one thing that I always learned too when we had our first Quiznos. Yeah. And it took I think what it take at that time, Kim, was like 4 to run a great lunch. It was four team members and you, because you were the floater, and that's how we run a good lunch. And you never want to cut people's hours, but what you would do is I'd get there and I'd notice, at 10 o'clock, 10:30, it's pouring. And I'm like, oh, crap, it's going to be pouring all day. And that hurt our business that day. And so sales went down and labor costs went up that day. And I'd always ask my employees, and I teach our managers today, you don't have to cut hours, but what you need to cut hours by telling people, hey, does anybody want to get off? Do they have anything? And you'll see all 4 like, I'll do it.
Yeah.
I want to take off. It's not you're forcing somebody, but you'll ask somebody because they might have something special they need to do, or, need to get their car inspected or something. So that helps that. And that's how you do
The other
this.
piece there, though, too, is the other way to impact labor as well is drive sales.
Yeah.
So how do we get out there and drive sales, give better hospitality, train our people a little bit better so they can take on another table in their section? Yeah. And if we drive sales, that can reduce your labor, also increase your top line. I can give you $1 for that.
Okay.
Listen, if you drive sales, you help my department too.
You help everything. Sales are king. You stop right there. That could be the answer to all of them for sure.
If ops drive sales, I'm sitting in the happy seat.
Yeah, see,
Absolutely.
That's the big thing that people don't realize. How you fix most of your problems is get more business.
Yeah.
And one of my sons out there, he's back in from college and he's pressure washing like crazy, and he's got jobs like every day. And he said, but I still need to fill in. I said, why don't you just load up and drive down the road and drive through people's neighborhood and say, hey, for $50, I'll pressure wash your driveway. That's cheaper than you pulling that out of the garage, trying to get it to start. I can do it. And he said, but I'm not making that much money, but you're making money more than you're doing just sitting there. So he's driving sales. He's building more on that instead of just sitting at home thinking about it. So, yeah. Okay. So, man, I'm getting my money back.
My last dollar here is just going to be scrubbing every single line of expenses and not taking for granted anything at all. And that, can we do a better turn on, turn off schedule to reduce a little bit of our electric bill, or our sprinklers set to the perfect time so we're reducing our water? And we've been open for 2 years and our double play on our cable bill has run out and nobody's given, Spectrum or Comcast a call and renegotiated a better deal. We're never getting rid of cable or internet. That could have been a phone call away. So I think if you can go line by line on your general ledger and ask yourself, was this renegotiated? Is this the current market rate? And is there an opportunity here to get and negotiate a little bit of reduction there and relief? That's a good place to play ball in. Yeah. And then ops inside the four walls is just, paying so much attention to our turn on, turn off schedules and our utilities and everything. Even when we turn our TVs on matters, and when we turn our fryers on matters. So I can give you $1 back there if we're executing at a high level.
Appreciate that. That means a lot to me, Justin. And what's cool about it is that when we go in the stores, I'll do a store visit. You walk in there and we open we open at 10:45.
Yes, sir.
But I go there at 10 or 9:45 and every TV's on. I'm like, remember, Buffalo Wild Wings has like 50 TVs. It's like, hey, can we not turn these on because just imagine, 365 days a week, turning your TVs on an hour early. And then we have, this many restaurants. Oh, that really adds up and makes a big difference right there too. So, man, I'm making myself happy. I think I'm making my bankers even more happy.
What are you at now? 15.
So $5 back in controllable costs.
Man, I'm kind of in my happy spot, but sometimes we like to be in the great spot, and that's one thing I love about you guys. We always try to be great at it. When everything we do, we try to be the best at it. Kim, can you give me some money back?
I can try.
Yeah. What can you look over?
Let's go through location expenses.
Yeah.
And I can just piggyback off of Justin. He's saving us money by turning off and on our utilities at appropriate times and not just wasting our energy. We can do LED lighting versus just the normal lighting that saves on our energy bill. We can renegotiate our utilities sometimes, sign contracts with our energy companies. Lock in rates.
I didn't even know you could do that.
Yeah. She's been working hard at that.
We recently did that, and I was like, oh man, I'm blown away. That was $300 a month saved in an energy bill. So
yeah, and sometimes even leases, you lock yourself. We try to negotiate up front on our leases, but when you're having a performance issue at a location, you can always go back to your landlord and say, look, I'm not performing like I thought. Can we maybe renegotiate our lease?
Yeah.
And, sometimes they'll tell you no, but hey, like I always say, don't take no for an answer. So just, keep pounding the door. They may tell you no the first time, but just keep going back to them.
You just did that. We just had a call that you had to set up with it was time to renew a lease that we had to go in an option period. And it's a successful store. It's a very profitable store, but the market rates are down. And you did a study and you looked at what they're renting property next door to us and where our rent would have went up. You were like, that's not the going rate right now.
Yeah.
And he was kind of shocked on the phone. He's like, wait a minute.
Yeah, location analysis is a big thing when you're going up against your landlords.
Yeah.
I mean, know what the going rate, your prevailing market values around you so that you can hedge your negotiation.
And I felt like at the end of the day, when that call ended, you gained us back probably about 50% of that increase.
Yeah.
So you saved us about 50% because he was blown away because all you did was ask the question.
That's right.
And I remember on the phone, he said, wait a minute, I thought you were just going to renew. I mean, you're a successful business and you're Buffalo Wild Wings. Why? And
Well, he got a hold of you first.
That's funny.
This is why we have the arms of the business.
So did you give me? Did you give me?
No, I haven't yet.
Okay,
So,
give me some.
Yeah, I'll give you $1.
Give me some.
Yeah. And then let's talk about insurances as well. So insurance, we have to all insure our business because that's just a necessity of owning your own business. And we are up against insurance negotiations. You always want to do like an analysis.
Yeah.
You want to talk to other people, what they're paying in the industry, so that you can come to your insurance broker and say, hey, I heard that my colleagues are paying this. I would like to go in at this rate. They're coming back with us a lot now, more than they ever have, and said it's the market. The market's hard. Well, we've been hearing the market's hard for a couple of years now. So you just don't want to take that at face value. You want to go and do your homework. You want to go talk to other people, put brokers up against each other so that you can get a better rate.
Yeah, and I'm tired of hearing the market's hard. They've been saying this for years. It's been like that for the last 3 years.
Yeah, and being on the coast stinks for us because that's hard in the market too with all these hurricanes.
Yeah, we can't control the hurricanes for sure. We can reduce our claims, right? We can, our workers' comps claims, and we can operate safer and train better and save
back.
a buck.
Yeah.
It's funny that with that last negotiation we had, I remember they came in. It's like, well, we had this huge hurricane that all these insurance companies are reclaiming that money. It's like, we live on the coast. I didn't. It's like, no, that big one that hit Florida. And I said, the big one that hit this recent with all the Lamborghinis floating around. I was like, so we got to pay for those people not moving that, knowing those storms comes. Like, oh yeah, they got to recoup that money. But you did, and I think some of the part you had to do was on those negotiations. We had to go up on a deductible a little bit too. You kind of had to take that risk reward on it and think, okay, I'll go up on my deductible to lower my premium some. So that's how you got me $1 back. Thank you.
So location expenses, I believe I've given you $3, right?
Yeah.
So moving on to general. So sometimes in your general expenses, you have your subscriptions that you pay for the company to do business on the ops side and the accounting side. So you really need to either look over your subscriptions. Maybe you have some unnecessary subscriptions out there that you can lower. Your professional fees. Maybe you can do some internal things versus outsourcing things. Chargebacks. You want to make sure that you capture the customer's signature if they're in store, so that when those chargebacks come through, we can prove that the customer was in our store and we're not giving back money to the merchant or to the customer that's unnecessary givebacks.
Yeah.
So I can give you maybe $1 through that.
Yeah. All right. So we're getting up there too. Hey, I want to hit on one point though that I brought this up that you challenged the other day, and that's how you gave me $1 back too. One day I heard you call it, hey, why is the water bill so high?
Oh yeah.
It was at one of our locations. Like, man, our water bill is unbelievable compared to others. And I rode out there, and me and Pat, our guy, drove out there, and I went and the sprinkler system was on. Like, even Pat was like, dude, we're drowning all the flowers in grass. I was like, yeah, somehow the timers got set off, and we cut it by like 90%. But that was one of the callbacks you did. Your team noticed that our water bill was different at this one particular location. It had been for the last couple of months. And somehow, I guess, the power went off and it reset. And, of course, management on site wasn't paying attention to it. And we were just running the water bill like crazy.
Yeah, we're always watching ops.
Y'all are.
Never settle on the $12 though. That's kind of the
right.
point. It's like there's always an opportunity to grab $1, and if you're not looking at it and paying attention to it, you're not able to identify those outliers out there, those those spikes, and challenge us all day on those things, because it's we're the experts in operating and getting it done. But sometimes you just put your head down and assume that $12 is what general expenses are. No, that doesn't need to be the case.
Yeah.
Are you done? Give me money.
So I can give you another $1 if and when these interest rates go down, and maybe look at refinancing debt for the company. Right now, it's not a good time, but hopefully in the future, we can maybe renegotiate your debt, pay down your debt. Those kind of things will hedge off an increase in your business expenses.
It's a lever, but it doesn't get $1 right now.
Yeah.
It's something to pay attention to.
Something that we're watching.
Research. Yep.
It's frustrating in that too, because what that does is slow down growth.
It does.
It does. It slows down growth, slows down jobs. And you think about us building new restaurants, right? We were hoping to build 2 to 4 a year, and we might go to just 2 to 3 a year. just because of the fact of the interest rates. And that creates, I mean, we're buying equipment, we're hiring labor guys, the plumbers are working, the electricians are working, we're hiring more staff, we're hiring more management, we're upgrading our office here because we might have more people here. And that's how you create jobs, is small business. And all you small business guys, keep working hard because it's a hard business. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, $18. That's
$18, man. You're doing good.
That's pretty good. And in this business, I learned that, right? Yeah. And I always tell our team,
20 is great.
Yeah, and I think me and you've learned this since we started this business when we didn't really know. We didn't go to business school,
right?
But as we knew and finally sitting down and begging for a loan for the first time, then begging for a loan for our second, and then begging a loan for our third, they always wanted to see our P&L. Mm-hmm. They always wanted to see the P&L. And whatever business you got to, and we teach our teams, our young leaders that come into business, the ones that ask these questions, can I see dollars instead of percentages? And we talk about this, and you've heard in these business meetings with these bankers, if you're at that 10%, that $10, banks are looking at you, I don't know.
Yeah,
you know,
it's almost a break even.
Yeah, they're like, I don't know if we want to take the chance on you. But if you come with
the tricky part here is like in a $3 million a year Buffalo Wild Wings, right? It might have cost you $2.5 million to make. That's $500,000 a year. So it will take 5 years if we operate at the high level, right? Mm-hmm. Not the $10, the $18 level. Yeah. 5 years before we made our first dollar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's operating at a high level in a highly successful business that's hitting a sales target. So that's where
attention. Yeah.
You want to pay down your debt. You want to reinvest into your company before you're even considering taking that dollar out. And the delayed gratification, kind of shows our stance on that. But that's a huge deal. I mean, it sounds like, oh my goodness, if you did $300, or $3 million, you made $500,000. No. You still got $2.5 million in debt on this sucker.
Yeah, you still
You're not going to go buy a
that.
Truck if you have that kind of note, chilling there. You're not going to, and that's
right.
Nobody, a lot of people don't understand that piece of it.
Yeah.
And, and when you go back on the conversation that we have with the banks, when you go to that $10 mark, most of them look at you and like, I don't know.
They're not funding that for sure.
But if you bring them to the $15 mark, you say, hey, here's my P&L with $15. They're like, this is quite interesting. Tell me more about it. I love it. Man, this is good. What's your process? What's your growth? What's it look like? And they're kind of excited.
Yeah.
But then when you bring over that 18, 20, 22, now they're just like, hey, here's the paper.
Yeah, now they're staying out of your business.
Now they just kind of come check on you every now and then, and they want to know when's you ready to go open another one.
Yeah.
So that's the whole importance of this, guys, is you're growing your business. This is what really makes it. And this is not, this is what goes in your pocket or into your bank account that you can build off of now. This is your growth right here.
That's your growth.
This is your growth. And you got to have this. So you got to have money to make money. Yep. So, man, this was a pretty good fun exercise, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pretty cool.
I'm actually excited that I came away with $18.
Yeah.
Because I got the big stack.
Yeah, I know. You still got
and
that.
For all you guys out there on the ops team, this is how big of a deal and how much we impact the business.
Yeah.
And
That's
your
right.
operators out there, there's a lot for the taking here. There's also a lot to lose here.
That's right. That's right. And that side too, y'all
I
work.
got about 24% right here.
And y'all work really hard. And y'all, remember one thing about it, your teams work hard to give it back. Everybody wants to give it back to the middle. And when you teach everybody below us that how important these dollars are, and that's why I love the idea when this came up, is because people don't understand percentages as much as they understand dollars. When you really throw $1.50 in a trash can and show your cooks and show your management and your shift leads, your young employees that work for you, they're like, wait a minute, that's $1.50 you threw away. And now it puts them in perspective every time they throw a hamburger away because they messed it up, or boneless wings spun them in the wrong sauce. Oh, I'm sorry, I put the wrong sauce on it. Well, we got to throw it away. So
1%, also 100 basis points. There's all kinds of terminology here, but the dollar just it makes sense, man. You can see it. It's there.
This was fun. It was fun. I hope you got something out of it. So enjoyed this episode a lot. This was fun. But hey, we're gonna go quickly to our question of the day. And I'm going to throw it at you first, Justin.
Okay.
Go back to your young self. And if you're at your point right now in life, in career, everything, if you can go give your young self one piece of advice, what would it be? I get this question asked to me a lot.
I don't like to do things that I'm not good at. I struggle with that. And I think where I would have been more aggressive is believing that, you outpaces everything. And what I mean by that is I'm the guy without a Facebook. I'm the guy that just said, I don't need social media to be successful. I don't need to work on my own brand. I just need to help everybody else's brand become awesome. So I think what I might have done differently is, I do read a lot of books. I am constantly learning, but I might have invested in me a little bit more when it came to, social media and just learning how to do thumbnails, learning how to use Adobe Premiere Pro and create videos, learning a little bit more about audio and lighting and all this stuff. And I think that would have helped me, build my own personal brand. And that's important for our people to know, like, who I am, how I'm wired, and where I came from. I literally had no social presence until, 4 years ago, which is super, super new. So I think I should have made a better investment into me, because the biggest ROI in the world is investing in yourself.
That's right.
And I could have done a better job in that.
Sometimes that's a problem with people, right? They put everything else first, and you're your own brand and you're your own person. And I know that, Justin, from the facts that when me and Kim opened our first Quiznos, and when you were in their business, I was in mine. Still to this day, people would come and be like, hey, you're that guy that was at Quiznos, because I was up front every day. I was the face of the business, and I ran it. And before that time, I was running a furniture brand, and people say, man, you're the guy that worked at Sawmill Furniture Store, and you were there all the time. And man, I was very great hospitality to people and understand their questions they had. So it is important to be out there too, Jess. That's really cool. Kim, same question to you. If you can go back to yourself, what you know now, and give you a little piece of advice, what would it be?
I think mine would be, and as far as business goes, partners. At a very young age, Chris and I accepted a partnership deal, and our partners were great. But when you have partners, you don't always see eye to eye. We had growth in our vision, and some of our partners didn't. And so that makes things kind of difficult for us, and it still does to this day. We're growing a business, and we still have a side of our business that's siloed with a certain partner, and they're just not interested in growth. But yet, when you go to banks and when you go to other situations, you're always having to mention the partners that don't want to grow, and so that kind of made us a little divot in our operations side of things. So I think just, when you're young and partnership sounds interesting and intriguing and almost the easy route, right? Because you're not taking on the burden all by yourself. You really need to negotiate your partnership agreements, your partnership deals. And just know, because we've made a lot of people money.
Yeah, that's so true. And I sat down with a business owner recently, and he was growing his brand and growing himself out and doing very successful things out there. And he was talking about partnerships, and I said, well, have you even gone to a bank yet to find out if you need a partner?
Yeah.
I mean, explore every opportunity before you bring a partner in. Operational partners are maybe a little different, but silent partners are way different.
Yeah, way different.
Because, they still have a voice in it. When they're silent, that just means they don't operate. They're not operating the day-to-day with you, but they are help control the business and the side of it. And that's true, because, you build this big brands, you build yourself up, and then you try to grow, and some don't, because you're pretty successful at what you're doing, and they don't want to take the risk of it anymore. And so that slows you down. So be very, very thoughtful in that. Try to do it yourself. I'm glad you brought that up, because that is good, man. It's a good question, good answer for you.
As an operating partner, you can throw a couple dollars back, right? You're working the business.
Yeah, you're working business.
Yeah,
silent partners are way different.
Yeah, and it's So
sometimes you have to do it though. So it's not like
sometimes you have
to, but like the hindsight going back, that's wonderful for everybody to hear, because that was. That's good advice, even as I'm listening to you.
Yeah.
Don't sell
don't
yourself.
Give up the equity.
Don't sell
give
your
up the equity.
When you give it up equity in your
to
business, and make sure you. And one big advice on that too: make sure you hold the controlling equity of it too.
That's right.
So I know you're going to ask
right at you.
Yeah, I know it's going to be mine.
Let's go.
So it's funny when I come up with these questions, I start thinking, okay, I know it's going to be my turn too. So I go back and I think this too. I wish that if I can give myself some advice back in the past, I think, I worked hard, ran hard, just built this brand. We just killed it. I didn't understand the importance of culture. I didn't think, back then we just worked hard. We grinded.
We did.
We just banged at it. And then, years back, it kind of set me as like, wait a minute. When I used to work for a company, I love the culture that was there because us employees created it. Not the ownership or leadership didn't create it. We had fun. We worked hard, but we enjoyed ourselves at our jobs. We had great friendships. Not that we hung out every night, or did great, all of us, but we still had fun. We ate lunch together. We did things. So then I go back and think years back when me and you decided to change our name to Aspire to Be More Hospitality Group, it's like, man, let's the culture is the thing. Yeah. And I wish I'd have caught on to that earlier.
Yeah,
and
me too.
I always brought this up. A lot of companies, they build these castles with these moats in them, we got that question for us years back. Members like, hey, we took everybody to Disney World, and our team and one of our general managers, we're 30 at a table having a great dinner. It was a big conference we had, and one of our guys sat back and said, hey, Mr. Chris, Miss Kim, why is there a wall between us and y'all? And all of our leaders at that time, Justin, looked at like, they were scared. They were like, I was like, wait, what do you mean a wall?
Yeah, what are you talking about?
And that's just a bomb went off in my head. I remember me and you went back to the hotel that night. It was just drove us crazy. And that's when we started dreaming of our new name and what we were going to be in the culture. So whenever you're out there, make sure that's your thing. You're in tune to what's happening in your stores or your business. You're in tune what's happening with the employees, and you know what's going on. So that's one thing I could wish I could.
We're building arcs, right?
That's right. You're building the arc. Yeah, you're building the arc. We're building it.
Everybody get in.
Everybody get in because the storm is coming. Matter of fact, I got my new Into the Storm shirt. I love this new shirt. So, hey, shout out, guys. Thank y'all so much for watching. Remember, go subscribe to this, please, on all the platforms. It means a lot to us. Make some comments and give us some thumbs up, too. Some you could put American flags. Some you can't. Sorry about that. I didn't know that. But we definitely could put thumbs up. But appreciate you watching, guys, and we'll see you next week, man.